Hello and welcome to Anime Out of Context, the show where I attempt to explain the sometimes weird, sometimes wonderful, but always hilarious world of anime.
And if I ever see Gordon Ramsay, then it's on sight.
I'm Sean Rollins.
I'm Remington Chase.
Remington, I hate to break it to you, but you would have no chance against Gordon Ramsay.
But I'd give it a good go, all right?
You'd give it a good go, but he would absolutely destroy your ass in more ways than one.
I'm sorry, are you implying that Gordon Ramsay is gonna sodomize me? Are we opening up this lovely February month with Gordon Ramsay fucking me? How romantic.
I mean, as long as consent's involved, I feel like it's a possibility.
Sure, hey, if Gordon Ramsay, if you want to fuck.
And I mean, if anything, Rem, it's pretty good considering, like, the meal you'll get after. Like,
oh, yeah, like the morning after, he'll make you the best scrambled eggs of all time. It'll be great.
Yeah, it's like, oof. Honestly, I think it's, like, some people might think you're getting a raw deal, but quite frankly... seems like the opposite. But Remington, I have a special treat for you.
Oh, okay. Yep. Oh, let's hear it.
Hey, Rem, you like game shows, right?
Yeah, I like game shows, Sean.
Yeah. Well, what are some of your favorite game shows, Rem?
I'm a big fan of course, newer game shows. Game Changer, probably the best game show.
I mean, agreed.
You could say, like a Taskmaster is a great game show.
I'd call it a game show, yeah.
I know that your favorite game show, is the Beast games, because as you've always said, you look up to and admire that, Mr. Beast.
I mean, that is the least funny joke you've ever said on the podcast.
And, yeah, that's not true. I'm saying less funny.
Ones that have been cut because they were just too crude.
Love me some, British panel shows. You know,
like a countdown or
yeah. Would I Lie to You is a really good one. I'm a fan of Family Feud. It's always a good classic.
Yeah.
A good classic, even though Steve, hey, he's a real funny guy and also a horrible person.
Oh yeah, like if you know nothing about him as a person, it's great watching. But if you know anything about him, by God, is it awful. Ooh, buddy. I can't help but notice you didn't mention The Price is Right, Rem. You got problems with that show?
No, I am fine with The Price is Right. I've never been a huge fan of it. It has a great theme song that people can listen to at the end of every single podcast episode.
As reprised by one Remington Chase.
Let me address something. All right. I have, for a very, very long time, ended recordings with a little Price is Right ditty. All right? I didn't realize they were being included by our lovely editor until months after the fact.
Yeah, no.
And now it's just entrenched within the system.
Yep.
Now it's just
like you can't finish unless you do a little do. It makes nights with your girlfriend very interesting.
Oh, and it makes it especially awkward when I called her Bob Barker. It was like, oh man,
show me $1, Bob.
And she's like, get it right. I'm role playing as Drew Carey tonight, and I was like, oh, that's my bad. That's my bad.
Completely fair. And if anything, you should be paying her more compliments because man, has the look improved? Oh
yeah. Shout out Drew Carey, our #1 fan.
Oh yeah, no, he listens to the podcast all the time.
Religiously.
But Remington, there is one other game show that you did not mention.
All right, yeah.
And that would be Wheel of Fortune, Rem.
Yeah, that one's kind of ass though, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it's a pretty fucking shit game show. But there is one great thing about Wheel of Fortune, Rem, and that's the fact that there's a wheel.
No, yeah, the wheel is the best part of Wheel of Fortune, and there's just, like, a bunch of other stuff I don't care about.
Yeah.
Just, like, spin the wheel again, come on.
Yeah, no, like, why aren't you spinning the wheel to get the money? And, oh boy, you hit bankrupt, that's a tragedy. But no, Remington, I figured that since you love game shows so much, I would bring one to you. And that's why today's anime is going to be whatever happens to show up on this wheel of revisits that are the person with the blue sky spoiled at the end of last Patreon reads, unfortunately. Hey, it happens. Once I was given the idea, I was like, man, I'll do that really soon, especially for, our anniversary month. That'll be real fun and real fancy.
For our anniversary month, but not our anniversary.
Not our anniversary specifically. No. Like, could we do another revisit for our anniversary? Oh, yeah. But I want to have a little bit more control over the anniversary.
All right. Thus far, I'm going to level with you.
Yeah.
This year doesn't have a great batting average. This year hasn't been doing too good. The best thing I saw was a monstrously arranged marriage. And that was supposed to be far and above the worst thing you showed me thus far. So we're not nailing this.
Well, hey.
So far.
That's why I figured a little bit of fate is in order to really, really swing us into things. And Remington, it's not just going to be, I'm not doing a you. I'm not.
Oh, wait, what does that mean?
I'm not being like, oh man, I really want to revisit this episode, so I'm going to make that option huge and the rest minuscule, so that there's still technically a chance, but
I have never done any such thing in an episode that is publicly available.
Oh man, hey, if you'd like to check out our Patreon, please do. I suffered for
it. Ruh-roh, Raggy.
Yeah, oh boy. But yeah, Remington, I have lined up essentially a wheel with a good large amount of revisits for us to do. But that alone, I feel like wouldn't be very fun. It would be fun. It's fun for me regardless, right? But I am going to give you the opportunity to add 2 to 3 things to the wheel of your choice. They have to be shows we've covered as revisits, because otherwise it's not a wheel of revisits. But if there was a show that you wanted us to come back to, this is your chance to put it on the wheel and have it have a chance of being what we talk about. And if you choose a show for a meme that wouldn't be a good episode to revisit, then it'll be a fucking chaotic crack episode again, which some people like, but others do not. So first things first, let me show you the wheel.
Oh, all right. Okay. All right.
I like to think I've got a good mix of pretty solid shows and fucking awful ones on here.
That wheel frightens me.
Yeah. But hey, Rem, this is your chance to add some things to it to make it less frightening. Because currently I have 26 options on here. And there's going to be a surprise final option that's going to be added to this. So say you add 3, the 30th option is going to be a very special one that I'm going to add and see your reaction live.
All right. Okay. All right. So how many do I get to add?
You get to add 2 to 3. I'll let you decide how much. If you have a hard time thinking of a third one, you can add 2 and stop there.
Well, I have to add 3. That's
okay, then there you go. Add 3, and then the
30th
entry will be the special surprise.
All right. Number 1, I'm adding.
Okay.
BoJack Horseman, ladies and gentlemen. BoJack Horseman.
That's a hell of a gamble considering what I know.
There's been a normal episode of BoJack Horseman on the podcast, so thus it is eligible.
It is technically eligible, yep.
All right. Next I'm gonna say, oh no, all right. You already had that one. 1 second.
Yeah. Hey, Rem, I was thinking about what things that you could possibly like to revisit. I wasn't just doing this wheel to fuck you.
How much do I like our listeners? Because I could just kind of try to sabotage shit.
Hey man, if you think it'll make a great episode, that's on you. Remember, it'll have a 1 in 30 chance of landing on that option, so.
And yet my heart tells me it's 100% chance.
Oh, I see.
You see, my heart says that it's a guarantee.
I see.
All right, for the second one, I'm gonna introduce.
Okay.
I can't do that. There's a devil on my shoulder, Sean.
I'm aware. I speak with him regularly. He is a close companion of mine, unfortunately.
King of the Hill, ladies and gentlemen. King of the Hill.
Oh, dear.
Oh, God.
All right. Was King of the Hill a public episode?
It was.
God damn. I don't know, episode 145, yep.
Yeah, I think I have to round it out in character.
Okay.
Cory in the house.
Okay. All right.
I feel, that those were just underrepresented, and that it just makes sense.
I see.
It's very on brand. Are there better choices? Yeah. But, are there funnier choices? Probably not.
Well, this is going to make my surprise answer a little bit unfortunate for me, but hey,
What's the surprise answer?
The surprise answer is a special April Fool's episode. So, interesting.
Oh my god.
And I was gonna be cheeky and make it a 1% chance for the Gotcha Gods, but with these other things in here, I feel like that would be disingenuous.
All right. I believe in the dream, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see it.
All right. Is it gonna be a one and done type of wheel spin, Rem?
I think so. That's fate, baby. That's fate.
Okay. Alrighty. And with that, we shall spin the wheel of revisits. Dylan, please put in appropriate game show music and or wheel sound effects because I'm not recording my screen because I'm a savage. I'll take a screen cap, though. No! Fucking shot! No fucking shot. I'm a man of my word. I gotta take a picture of the screen cap.
Would you like to announce what today's episode is?
Yeah, let me just send you the screen cap so I don't lose it. So the wheel, 1 in 30 chance, has just landed on Cory in the house. So today's episode is going to be about Cory in the house, and
which, to be clear, this isn't an April Fool's episode. It's just Cory in the house.
Which means, Remington, you're going to be watching the first half of season 2 of Cory in the House. Congratulations!
Oh, 2025 is fucking washed, man.
You're the one who added it to the list, so now you gotta go and watch it yourself.
Oh, our listeners are gonna be so angry.
They're gonna be so upset. They're gonna be so upset. Hold on, I gotta see how many episodes Cory in the House is.
Oh, it's a lot. Oh my god.
Oh, season 2 is only 13 episodes.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, you're watching all 13. Congratulations.
God damn you!
Congratulations, Rem. All 13 episodes of season 2 of Cory in the House. Wait, hold on. I gotta make sure. We covered the first half of Cory in the House and then the second half, yeah?
I think we did a revisit as an April Fool's on Patreon at some point, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, hold on. Let me read these summaries real quick, make sure I don't recognize any of them.
Yeah, I don't think we've touched season 2 yet.
Yeah, no, we have not touched season 2. So, yeah, season 2 is all yours, baby. Congratulations. The wheel.
They're gonna be so mad. They're gonna be
so fucking pissed, Remington.
there were so many choices that the weebs would have adored having a revisit of.
I mean, the great thing about the wheel is the wheel can always come back. But it's gonna be a later thing now, gang. It's gonna be a later thing now. I'm gonna save this wheel in particular, and I'm gonna remove Cory in the House, obviously. But the remaining 29 options will still be there.
I feel like we all knew this is what was gonna happen. We all felt it. We all felt as soon as I said Cory in the House. We all knew it was gonna be the Cory in the House. We all knew it. We knew it.
Yeah, and there was nothing I could have done to change it. That's just the way fate goes.
As soon as I spoke it into the world, there was only ever going to be one result.
What happens if I roll it again? Just out of curiosity. I just want to see.
See what could have been.
What could have been.
See what we missed out on.
Oh, it would have been Arcane Season 2, which is...
Oh, man. People would have loved that.
People would have fucking loved that,
out
man.
Over that.
Yeah, the battle
but we're not
lesbians.
Doing that.
People would have loved that. That would have been a great episode. People would have tuned in. That could have been our biggest episode of the year so far, honestly.
Now, nobody's going to listen to the Cory in the House episode.
Well, look, we're going to have to clickbait the shit out of it, Remington. It's gonna be... I just spun it for a second time and it landed on King of the Hill. I am closing this wheel. It cannot be trusted.
So good.
And Remington can attest. He watched me set up the wheel. That was not predetermined.
10 out of 10. Beautiful stuff.
Okay, so Rem, tell me, what do you remember about Cory in the House?
Cory is the son of the White House chef.
Yep.
And he is really into this girl, Mina.
Yep.
And there's Newt,
yep.
and they have a band together.
Yep.
And there's one random nerd character who is one of the more entertaining characters, if we're being honest.
Yes. His father works for the CIA.
Yeah.
And he has a bunch of CIA gadgets that break the laws of physics. It's like Stickler or something like that. I can't remember.
That sounds right. That sounds right. I don't know. It's been a very long time since I've seen Cory.
Yeah. Longer than me, you might say. The last time you saw it was when we did the very first Cory in the House episode.
When we did the first episode, you made me watch it with you. But when we did the revisit on the Patreon, that was all you. So
yeah, that was all me. Which was fucking tragic, let me tell you. But hey,
it's been years since I've seen it.
Oh, and the best part is there are only 2 seasons of Cory in the House. So
we'll be finishing it up, ladies and gentlemen.
We'll be finishing it up, and never again will we have to watch this abomination upon God. Because season 1 was 21 episodes. Ugh.
Oh, fuck.
Yep, it ended with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. That's right. I forgot about that.
This is going to be a wild ride.
This is going to be a wild ride.
Look, I think with this, Sean, I will say, fucking up 2025 has been a mutual effort officially.
Yes.
We'll see you guys next year. We'll see you guys in 2026.
It's a wash. The year is a wash.
Hopefully by then our content's better. We're just going to continue churning out slop for 2025. And then 2026 will come back and be funny again and be higher quality. It'll be great. All right. So that's my resolution for next year.
I spent so long cherry picking good anime for us to revisit. I spent so long, Rem.
You made the mistake of allowing me to introduce chaos into it, and as soon as that happens, there was no other way it was going to go.
And now we're both going to suffer for it.
Oh man, I'm going to suffer, you're going to suffer, the weebs are going to suffer.
But hey, people have wanted you to watch Cory in the House for a long time, Rem. So hey, this is the time. Maybe you can see something in the show that I didn't. You're gonna find the gem that is season 2 of Cory in the House, and it'll be the thing that carries it over. So,
I've heard season 2 is really when it hits its stride.
Yes, which is why it was immediately canceled afterwards. In the ripe old year of 2008.
Oh, fuck.
So without further ado, let's go watch the entirety of season 2 of Cory in the House. And we are back after watching the entirety of season 2 of Cory in the House. I've had some time to mentally recover a little bit there, Rem, because I didn't have to watch the show. Where do you stand in all this? Has the wheel truly fucked us over, or is this episode gonna be salvageable?
Look, Sean, I could start complaining. I could complain about the content of the show. I could complain about the fact that this is not an easy show to find, especially like there's one option where you can like $2 per episode, which is insane. Or there are other means, but even the other means, I had to use 3 different sites.
It's almost like nobody likes this show or ever wanted to watch this show. If they could help it.
This show they're trying to banish this show. And there's some good reasons why, but we're going to ignore those.
Yeah, the obvious reasons we're going to avoid. Let's talk about just the merits of the show itself then.
But Sean, here's the thing.
Yeah.
As I was watching through these 13 episodes.
You did it to yourself, man.
I realized I realized it's a masterpiece of television, Sean.
Oh no, he's broken.
The level of depth that it delves into such interesting and fascinating themes. I think it has some of the deepest commentary about society and humanity than most shows that I've seen, frankly.
So you are broken.
Excuse me?
My co-host is broken. I'm gonna have to find a new one. Things are not looking good for the old Anime Out of Context crew. Dylan's gonna have an aneurysm. This is the end of us. This is.
I don't know why that has to be your conclusion. I don't think that's warranted.
You know, I think I've read about this. This is what those psychology books call coping mechanisms.
Okay, well, all right. Let's talk a little bit about it, and we'll see. Maybe you'll end up agreeing with me by the end of it.
Doubtful, but sure. Right. I'll keep an open mind. Bring it on.
All right. So, episode 1 of season 2. Cory and Newt are trying to get girlfriends. Now, you might recall Cory kind of has a girlfriend. Kinda. Candy. I don't know if you remember Candy. You've probably repressed that shit.
Oh god, that was the one girl that was like
real type A, real organized.
And also yandere, yeah?
A little bit.
Yeah.
So I had forgotten about Candy because she doesn't show up in this season till episode 5. Multiple times, we're going to have moments where Cory is like trying to find a girlfriend or trying to kiss women, and then you'll be reminded, oh yeah, he is kind of with Candy this whole time. Now, to be fair, they're on again, off again, they don't like to put a label, but also it seems like...
we have a term for that isn't Disney appropriate, and Hermaeus is in my room. What the hell? Hermaeus, how did you get in here? Hold on. For being such a large fat cat, he is very stealthy sometimes. But yeah, no. Let's see, where was I? Oh yeah, there are not Disney approved terminology we could use to describe Cory, in that regard.
Yeah.
You can Google them yourself if you like. This is a family friendly episode after all.
Of course. So, Cory, he tries to impress this girl, this girl who she's really into history, right? And he's like, well, I live in the White House. History. There you go. Bada bing, bada boom. And so he gets... Hey, man, just live in the White House. It's nice and easy. And so he gets her to come to the White House with him. But then while they're smooching, he spills some important historical ink all over the presidential seal. Oh no!
The presidential seal?
Yeah, in the Oval Office, just right smack dab in the middle there.
Oh, so a bit of carpeting that could be easily replaced. Interesting.
Well, but a history shot.
Yes. And I'm sure that bit of carpet has never been replaced ever.
And so, on another side, we see that Cory's dad has to cook a very expensive fish into sushi. This all comes to a head when Cory asks Newt for a presidential seal, because Newt says he can definitely do that. And, oh no, wouldn't you know it, he misinterpreted. He brings a seal.
I know it's silent, but I'm laughing my ass off from it. I don't know if you could tell. The humor is, man, oh man.
Like the animal, Sean.
Yeah.
You see how there's a little bit of wordplay.
How does a teenager get a seal?
Look, he has a lot of resources, all right. But then...
Also, I know you brushed over it, but does that mean that Cory's dad is gonna poison somebody if he cuts this fish wrong? Is it a fugu situation?
It might be, or it might just be really expensive. I thought it was going the fugu situation, but I think it's just that it's super pricey.
Yeah, Disney wouldn't like a fugu situation, I suppose.
The seal steals the fish. And then the president shows up and they need to disguise the seal as a grandmother. The only reasonable course of action. Hijinks ensue, blah, blah, blah. But that's the story, all right? And look, I'm going to be level with you, Sean. The story, that's not what we're here for, right? We're here for the deep... We're here for the deep themes of Cory in the House.
Yeah, that's what we're here for.
So already in this first episode, it's displaying how politics is a circus, Sean, bringing a presidential seal into the White House, right? I mean, it writes itself. Furthermore, it shows how history can be weaponized for selfish and ulterior motives. And finally, of course, it culminates in Corey getting distracted by personal lust and greed and tarnishing the presidential seal. It shows how the symbols of our government have been irreparably stained, Sean.
Okay, so we're past me thinking you're broken, and we've gone straight full-blown into you've been reading up on recent politics again.
Okay, I get it. You know, you want an episode that focuses a little bit wider, maybe a little less openly political, though. I mean, it's the White House. What are you gonna do? But the episode two, less political. All right.
Okay, all right. I mean, hey, I'm here for it.
Newt and Corey, they have to write a new song before sundown.
Before sundown.
And Mina is training the Sunshine Girls or whatever the hell, right?
The what?
It's the Girl Scouts.
Oh yes, that's right.
You know, Corey and Newt, they waste a little bit of time. They end up arguing with one another through an electronic robot seesaw launcher. Both of them get launched into the ceiling or the floor, they argue. And they keep arguing and disputing amongst themselves before they realize, hey, it's a lovely day outside, and they write a song about that. And this one, baby, this is Albert Camus. This is absurdism to its peak, all right? Just as one must imagine Sisyphus happy, so too must we recognize that life, within its absurdity, within its lack of objective meaning, it is simply the little simple joys that we are able to pluck out from the world that make it valuable, that bring us satisfaction.
So the song was shit, right?
It wasn't the worst I've ever heard, but I'm not putting it on a playlist.
I see. Okay. All right. Okay.
But John, it's not about the song. You're so wrapped up into the content. We're looking at the ideas, Sean.
I see. So what are the ideas of episode 3 then?
All right, episode 3. It's going to be Mina's birthday, and it's going to be really important and culturally relevant for Bahavian becoming a woman type deal.
The fake racist place, yes.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. Don't worry. We'll explore that later. Don't worry, Sean. Put a pin in that one.
Can't wait to explore the deep themes of the inherent racism of Bahavia, but all right, let's go for it.
Oh, yes, but that's not yet. That's not yet. This one, there's a reality television show, My Party is Better Than Yours, where bratty teens, they are just so obnoxious and they put on the best parties, and it's kind of like a Bridezilla
I was about to say, that's
scenario.
Just teenage Bridezillas. Like,
yeah, very much so. And they get Mina on the show so that ideally they can show their band to a televised audience, right? That's the goal there.
Yeah, that's like trying to get your restaurant on Kitchen Nightmares because you think it's a great restaurant. That's not.
Yeah, you know, it's a strange route to go, yeah. But of course, with the cameras on and everything, Mina starts turning in to a brat, to a horrible person, and it starts getting way out of hand, and it's like, oh my god. And meanwhile, in the subplot, Sophie, America's Angel, she cooks food, and Corey's dad, the president, and the president's assistant, they all hate it but pretend it's good, but then have to keep eating Sophie's bad food. So
this is why you've got to be honest with children.
There's two major themes of this episode, Sean. First is how observation, and in this example, we could just say cameras, but I think we can broaden it out, can reveal the depravity of humanity. And also not only reveal the depravity of humanity, but also promote the depravity of humanity. I see. Because it isn't as simple as, oh, look at all these terrible people on reality television. These people, they're being incentivized to act up. They are being incentivized to be this particular way, just as anybody in a public space is incentivized to put on a specific persona. Now, one could argue that this has been democratized into a dangerous fashion with social media. So now everybody feels like they're in front of an audience, and everybody feeling like they're in front of an audience means that everybody feels the need to perform at all times. The lines between performativity and sincerity end up blurring into nothing until your entire self-concept is in danger. At that point, what can't you justify when it comes to ill behavior? Right? So there's that theme, which I think is very fascinating and powerful. And then we're going back to politics, because in the Sophie subplot, we have the little culinary subplot, right? And that is all about how yes men inevitably corrupt politics, or corporations, just any institution, ultimately degrading the reality, degrading the quality, rather, of these institutions, because they can only go further in one direction, and nobody is doing any checks and balances on it, which may or may not be especially relevant right now. You see, Sean, these themes, they're everywhere.
And so, Rem, where is Pepe Sylvia in all this?
Oh, everywhere, Sean.
Okay, all right. But what about episode 4, Rem? What about episode 4?
All right, episode 4.
I say that one's called Lip Service.
Yes, so Newt has never kissed a girl, and he won't kiss a girl because when he was 8 years old, he promised this one girl that they would share their first kiss. And he is a loyal son of a bitch, all right?
Okay.
But this ends up in a difficult situation with Corey, because they go on a date with Ashley and Ashley, and
oh god, the two hot ladies. Yeah, I remember.
Ashley is ready to kiss Corey, but because Newt won't kiss Ashley, Ashley won't kiss Corey, because they do everything together.
That's, God, you know, this is going to sound wild, but I think I've seen this episode before. This sounds weirdly familiar.
And so Corey is like, you gotta kiss a girl, and Newt's like, I'm not gonna kiss anyone until I kiss the girl, my childhood crush that I promised.
Oh, God. You know, consent is a powerful thing. Consent is a powerful thing. You can't force people to kiss people if they don't want to kiss people. Come on now.
Meanwhile, in the B-plot, Corey's dad keeps losing games to Sophie, right? She just keeps winning. And that subplot, that really has to do with the inevitable and awful reality of aging and coming to terms with that, coming to terms of a certain degradation of the physical self and losing a part of you, coming to terms with limitations that you didn't always have. I'm reminded tragically of Mike Tyson versus Paul, right? It's just not, it's tragic. It's tragic to see. And really, I think we see that at its core with Victor. Even when Victor finally gets a win, it's an empty victory. It's meaningless, and it's still just the one. Meanwhile, for the main plot, the main message I get out of that is that Corey is actually a little bit bisexual, and he's attracted to femboy Stickler. So,
Well, hey, I'm glad people are discovering themselves, but also, Rem, you cannot just bring up one of the most obviously fixed fights in the last year and a half and act like there's any real meaning behind it.
I don't think it's fixed. I think Tyson is just old, and it's sad.
Both things can be true, Rem. Did you not read the list of rules for that fight?
Oh no, I'm aware.
Okay. All right. Yeah, okay. Cool.
So there are multiple times that Corey just notices Stickler, specifically Stickler's legs, and multiple times in this episode, Corey's like, God damn. Oh, baby. And then he sees that Stickler, and because he tries to repress his bisexuality, right? So he's like, oh no, I definitely wasn't attracted to that.
Yeah, I mean, it's 2008.
You were attracted.
Well, you can't be openly bisexual on Disney Channel in 2008.
It's like, hey, Corey, it's okay if you're into femboys, all right? That's okay. That's fine. That's okay.
It's 2025. Femboys are on the rise and have been.
See? So another example, Corey in the House ahead of its time. Let's talk about episode 5, which is all about a haunted doll.
Haunted doll watch? Wee woo, haunted doll watch, yay. Sorry, I was just reminded of better content.
So, Corey makes a Sophie doll, but while they're in the process of making it, he tries to get her to record some positive lines, but he ends up frustrating her, so she records some negative, angry lines. He uses those instead. She doesn't want that to be released publicly, and so she terrifies Corey by making him believe that the doll is haunted. And she uses that through the Secret Service. Even more secret than the Secret Service.
But the Secret Service isn't all that secret.
And so my main note here is the Secret Service is great at covert horror, though anybody who we have instigated, any nation that we've instigated a coup within would already have known that. Now, let's talk about episode 6.
Oh boy, halfway done, huh?
Not yet. Almost, but not quite. So episode 6, Corey makes a date with Candy, but he needs Stickler to tutor him in chemistry, and Stickler is sort of coercing Corey to do this nerd shit, and they're both scheduled at the same time. Oh no, what will he do? Meanwhile, Sophie runs for class president. Sophie running for class president, we learn that emotionally manipulative political campaigns work, and that if there are no incentives to prevent that, then the only thing to safeguard against that is the possible nominees feeling bad, which is not sufficient at all.
No, hey, not to get political, but no, it is
not. We need more safeguards than just hoping powerful people will do the right thing.
Oh, man.
We also see some themes about how nerd culture alienates women, and then I look at anime out of context and us just being two guys and nerd culture, and I just say, I hope we're vaguely inclusive, and I move on from that point. And
no, Rem, it's okay. Lesbians love our podcast. It's fine.
It's true. Celebrating Yamfest, baby. So then, finally, the final theme I have for this one is how being horny and lonely is used by many people to justify toxic relationships. Either being toxic to somebody or staying within a toxic relationship.
Too real.
With someone who's toxic to you.
Too real.
And you're just like, yeah, but I'm really horny, or yeah, but I don't have anybody else to spend time with, and so you do that, and that ends up being counterproductive and harmful, and you could end up finding someone else, but you can't think properly because you're horny and lonely, and it's sad.
Hey, Rem, as somebody who's currently single, please don't.
Hey, I'm glad that you're resonating with the themes of Corey in the House, Sean.
Look, trust me, it's not Corey in the House. It's what you're saying to me, and I feel really targeted.
What I'm saying to you is from Corey in the House, all right? It is simply... I'm simply reading from the text.
Okay, then read from the text of episode 7 and tell me what deep-seated wisdom can be found from within.
All right, so episode 7, we get a return from That's So Raven with Stanley. Stanley, he's the OG grifter, all right? He's a young scam artist, and he steals shit and he tricks people and he's a deceiver. It's great.
Was that the guy? I can't, look, I'm trying to conjure a picture of Stanley in my mind from the few episodes of That's So Raven I watched as a kid, and I cannot think of a picture. I might be thinking of a character from Hannah Montana.
The important thing, he's a little scam artist who has a history with Corey. And now he's returned. He's part of this singing group, Up With Goodness, I believe. Something like that, Up With Goodness, and he's like, oh, I've changed, I've reformed, Up With Goodness. Meanwhile, Corey knows that he hasn't, that Stanley is still a son of a bitch, but everybody else loves Stanley, everybody else falls for it. Meanwhile, Corey is a finalist for the Young Businessman of the Year award for his brilliant idea of a bank for children where they can invest and take out loans.
What the fuck? What the fuck?
Inevitably, Stanley steals that idea, but it's all fixed when Corey shows Stanley for the liar he is by putting a skeleton on a mobility scooter and terrifying Stanley.
Oh, God.
And there's some major themes in this episode, John.
Yes.
First, can anybody truly change? And how can somebody truly change? Because Stanley, of course, a lot of people want to believe that he can change, and he gives the aesthetics of growth without actually growing. At his core, he is still fundamentally the same person, just a bit of a different aesthetic, slightly different persona presenting, but at his core, the very same. There's also, and I think this is an especially relevant note, just like how abusers can hide behind religion and like this narrative of finding God as a get out of jail free card almost, right?
This is why we need to keep you off of Twitter, I suppose.
And so it's like, whether it's a CEO, a politician, or plenty of people just involved with religion already, it's like, oh, I did something real shitty, and oh no, I got caught. But hey, guys, it's all okay, actually. You don't need to be angry at me for the shitty behavior I've indulged in because I found God. I'm different now. You know, like Russell Brand. It just works, apparently. For some reason, it works on a lot of people. They're just like, yeah, actually now it's all okay. And it's like, I don't think that's how that works.
Holy shit.
Another theme, let's talk about the Bank for Kids, all right? Look, this wins the competition for Young Businessman of the Year, whatever the fuck.
What, in the White House? Go figure.
Yeah, I've never seen an idea more that exemplifies that money is so fake. Now more than ever, all right? Gen Z and millennials more and more are believing that money is increasingly meaningless. You look at it where it's like, oh man, all of these great company profits, all of these stocks are at all-time highs. All of these companies reaching insane evaluations, not based on any value they actually provide to society or pragmatically, but rather just based on blind speculation and often just a couple of buzzwords. And you look at all of that and it's like, oh, it's all bullshit. You look at the infinite crypto scams that are coming out and you're like, none of this is real. Money is broken now. Money has been broken, and who knows what the fuck to do about it. And I think Corey was pointing it out earlier than most.
Does anybody hear Les Mis in the background?
Let's talk about episode 8. Episode 8, we have Newt discovering he's amazing at braiding hair.
What a contrast.
He's so good at... People always said he looks like a braider, and it turns out he is a braider. He braids hair magnificently.
Okay.
And, of course, Corey is like, oh, I can monetize that. Let's open up a business where you braid hair.
Corey. I hate
everybody
Corey.
wants wants you to braid their hair. We'll make some good money. Meanwhile, the guy from barbershop down the road, that's a competitor that braids all the hair. He shows up and he's like, hey, I don't like that this business is running. I want you to cut it the fuck out because you're stealing my business. And it leads to a competition. Newt's afraid of competition, but he's able to overcome it. And finally, Newt wins with birdhouse hair against helicopter hair. And I'm in love with you. The helicopter hair was cooler. It's just that Newt was able to summon a bird at will.
What in Victorian ass bullshit is this?
But that's all fine. That once again, that's just the plot. What we're interested in, obviously, are the themes. 2 major themes here. These are more focused on business and economics. First, the growing need within society and the desire to monetize any skill, passion, or hobby that one has.
Don't look at the podcast. Do not look at the podcast.
Don't look inward. Don't introspect. I think a part of it comes from, like, as I already touched on, this growing, like, desperation where it almost feels wrong or unwise to do any activity for just leisure. If you're like, well, I'm already so far behind economically. I'm already so far behind that anything I do, I need to figure out a way that it can at least gently push me forward, if not be the main goal. And that's rough. That's not a great situation. The second theme of this episode is how businesses and institutions use force, intimidation, and legal coercion to stifle competition. All right? We live in an oligopoly here in America, all right? Mergers are nonstop. Companies buying out their competitors nonstop. Those they can't buy out, they try to destroy. God bless America.
So support your small indie podcasts. Those are the guys that you need to really...
Yeah. And so head over to our Patreon. Hey, there's going to be a bonus episode this week. That'll be a fun one.
To make up for this episode, most likely.
Hey, this episode was only late for patrons.
Yeah, but that's not what I'm apologizing for, Rem.
apologize for the fact that this episode is the way it is.
Yes.
Then we get to episode 9, where Stickler ropes Newt and Corey into a thing, but then Newt and Corey become models, so they train to become models in a boot camp, at a very intense boot camp. And after all this hard work, they show up, but unfortunately, they were chosen because of their authenticity and because they didn't feel like models. And so instead, unfortunately, they are rejected for the job. This one, first, it discusses relationships that are based on utility and instrumentality rather than any actual human connection, right? Associations based on what can you do for me, what value do you immediately provide to me, rather than actually caring, because we see that a lot with Stickler in this episode, in both directions. We also see, and you know, I'm gonna shout this out. I just want to say, a lot of people underrate how difficult or how skilled you need to be a very good model. All right. Sure. A lot of times you can, people like just doing some Instagram stuff quick and easy. A lot of that can be on the easier side of things. But even then, a lot of people who take it very seriously, modeling can be a hard gig. All right. Sure, it boils down to like, hey, look amazing, but that's simplifying a lot of what goes into it.
I mean, yeah, the amount of times Dylan has had to go out in the wilderness and stand naked near weird structures, it's it's daunting.
And that's just for our pleasure. That's
he's not even getting paid for that.
He's not even getting paid for that, but he is a pro. If you want to hire Dylan to stand naked near a structure as you look at him, then you can email Sean.
Okay, no. Rem, just talk about episode 11 already, please.
Excuse me, we haven't talked about episode 10, all right? Let's not skip some steps.
Oh, excuse me, sorry. Episode 10, then. Episode 10.
Episode 10, it's a bad episode. All I learned from that one is Corey would 100% be a Red Pill podcast bro.
Gross.
So, expect to see Corey Baxter on the Fresh and Fit podcast any day now.
The what?
Don't worry about it. The fact that you don't know is a good sign, all right?
All right, hey, I'll take it. I'll take that as a victory.
Episode 11, called Macho Libre. You get it? Because it's like Nacho Libre, but Macho Libre.
Oh God, is this one gonna be racist, Rob?
I'm gonna go with not racist, but not culturally sensitive.
Cool.
Because it uses Lucha Libre, right, as a sort of backdrop for this, but it has absolutely no respect for what Lucha Libre actually is. But also, it doesn't have respect for like how government works. So I don't think I don't think it's an actively racist thing. I just think the show is shallow in a lot of ways, except for the deep themes that we're discussing.
I see. Okay.
So Candy is getting flirted with a new Mexican student who's nice and hunky, right?
Okay.
They say Mexican student. It a little bit more feels like a Spanish student, but they wanted to make it Lucha Libre.
Oh, that's just...
So
that sounds...
I will take their word that it's a Mexican student. It seems like they wanted to do some different tropes, is all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
And
was there guitar in the background as well?
So Corey has to be like, no, I'm not jealous, obviously, because we're in a liminal state, our relationship. So who knows? And then Corey ends up in a tag team match against the Mexican student, Lucha Libre tag team match. He's partnered with Newt. He's against the Mexican student and the Minotaur.
I beg your pardon.
Don't worry about it. They end up losing, but Corey ends up winning Candy's heart back. So it's all okay. The major themes first, performative masculinity. All right? We see that out the ass right here. I think there's lots of discussions in society about performative femininity. And of course, the counter is also true. There's a lot of performative masculinity where it's society is telling men, hey, these are the certain qualities you need to be a real man, a successful man, a good man, blah, 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 blah.
I mean, the male loneliness epidemic is a thing, apparently.
Yeah, and if you don't if you don't act out those certain roles, even if they're kind of just artificial and theatrical in a lot of ways, then you will be seen as lesser and or other. So that's a major theme. There's also a lot of discussion on relationships and power dynamics, how honesty and vulnerability can be perceived as weakness, and especially if one is insecure within a relationship, then they don't want to display those qualities because because of their insecurities, they're worried that that will put them on a lower rung of the sort of power hierarchy within the relationship. But I'm gonna level with you. If your relationship is so focused on those kinds of power dynamics, right? Where it's like, oh no, I can't text them too soon, it'll send the wrong idea. Oh no, I can't tell them that they hurt my feelings because then they'll think I'm a wimp. If you're there, you need a better relationship, all right? It's not working out. You need to either look within, fix the things within yourself, or find a better relationship. Something has gone awry. Something has gone wrong. Relationships, romantic relationships, and even platonic ones, they should be about love, camaraderie, support, not power hierarchies.
Unless,
okay, look, sexually, whatever you're into.
Yeah, I was about to say. Look, we got to clarify for the freaks out there.
But that needs to be within the overall umbrella of the love and support.
Yes,
all right.
Yes.
The relationship isn't about that, but the sex is. That's okay. That's okay. And the sexual dynamic, it can even a little bit extend so long as it's consensual and knowing into those more day-to-day elements. But everyone needs to be on the same page. You can't just start throwing crazy power dynamics and dominating your partner if you did in day-to-day life if they didn't sign up for that. And then finally, we also get more on the performativity note, the performativity of conflict itself in this way, especially with Lucha Libre. I'm reminded of specifically in, I want to say it was like 2006 or somewhere around that time. There was, in WWE, there was this rivalry, all right? So you had Matt Hardy, all right? Matt Hardy, and he was, in real life, his partner was this female superstar named Lita, and they're dating, they love each other, everything's great. Matt Hardy gets injured, and while he's injured, Lita cheats on him with Edge. Then... and it becomes just a well-known fact. Yeah, it goes public that this has happened.
Okay.
And Matt's like pissed and everything is going wrong. But then they turned it into a televised rivalry.
Huh.
Just this carny ass bullshit. And it's also crazy because like genuine heat between them, right? Like, hey, you stole the love of my life. And the love of my life, you cheated on me, you fuck both of you. But then you got to go out into the ring and, like, display your true emotions that you really hate the guy, while also keeping them very safe while doing crazy shit to one another. And I just find that an odd and interesting dynamic. All right, episode 12, Sean, this is the one that we've really been waiting for.
Oh, is
all
it?
Right?
Is it?
You wanted... Bahavian racism. You said,
okay,
Remkin,
well, let me clarify. I didn't want
the Bahavian racism.
I did not. No. I just said I wanted to know if they continued that awful trend.
Well, you'll be happy to hear that within this episode, there's a new foreign exchange student from Dubinia.
No,
and that's a sworn enemy.
Make another one.
That's a sworn enemy of Bahavia. Longtime rivals, and of course they immediately hate each other. And I'm not gonna surprise you by saying, Sean, episode 12 is truly a metaphor about Israel and Palestine.
No, we can't go into that. We absolutely cannot go into that.
But Sean, they give the solution in the episode.
What's the solution?
The solution is humor, which is why I've drafted up a 30-minute stand-up comedy set all about Israel and Palestine. All right?
Interesting. Well, it's a shame that we're running longer on this episode anyway, so we'll have to save that for another time.
It's a shame. That's a shame. I really thought it was. I was ready to fix it all, Sean.
Oh yeah. a little bit of a goof and a gaff to fix a fucked situation. I'm glad.
It's what Corey now said. What happened? Corey shows his ass and political crisis averted. It's just how it goes.
Wait, he shows his ass?
Yeah. Let's talk about episode 13, the final episode. the final episode. So this is the grand finale of the whole show.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
You would not realize that. It just kind of happens.
Well, it's almost like the show got canceled. Weird.
Yep. So Mina breaks up with Craig, who we have. This is the first time. I think we saw him in the first season a little bit. This is the first time we see him in the second season. This is the only time we see Craig.
That's not what you want for a recurring character.
And from this, she writes an amazing angry song that a movie director hears. He wants that angry, beautiful song in his movie, but it's not finished yet. And so Corey and Newt are like, all right, Mina, let's finish this angry song. But she got back together with Craig, and now she can't be angry and sing angry lyrics. And so they try to trick Craig into breaking up with Mina, but he doesn't fall for it. And instead, they play a prank on Corey and Newt, where they convince him that Craig got his tongue ripped out and that Mina's leaving forever. Haha, fun jokes.
What the hell?
Haha, fun jokes. But it's reeled all as a joke, and they all agree to just not worry about it. And here we get to an interesting idea that I've touched upon a couple times in the podcast. Specifically, it's one that I've refuted, and it's one I'm going to refute here. It's the idea, the all too common idea, that valuable or meaningful or good art can only come from places of pain or suffering, which is it's a nice way to romanticize one's suffering, or at least to try to find meaning in one's suffering. Unfortunately, it just doesn't bear fruit. It just isn't. It's not a useful, meaningful, or possibly most important, accurate narrative of what's going on. I think that suffering has hindered more art than it has generated, and I think that this fetishization of suffering is ultimately unhealthy, and I understand that many people use that as a coping mechanism to try to find meaning within their own suffering, and I sympathize with that desire, but I think that there are better ways to find meaning within the suffering. So there we go, Sean. Every single episode, deep and meaningful ideas.
Okay, all right, that I've listened to what you've had to say, Rem. We've talked about this for about 40 minutes now. Ignore whatever the timestamp itself says, because, editing is a wonderful thing.
Approximately.
Approximately. And my question for you, Remington.
Yep.
What do you really think?
First of all, I don't like the implication that I don't really think any of those things. I firmly and truly believe that everything I discussed is an interesting and valuable theme.
Oh, yeah, no. All those themes you discussed were interesting and valuable. Yeah. I agree with you on that.
I think that Corey in the House, for what it is, bog standard, all right? It's peak of the bell curve shit.
Okay.
Which ultimately means that, I don't know, it's going to be like a 3 or 4 out of 10 for me. It's vaguely watchable, but it doesn't have a lot of merit. It has some surprisingly decent performances here and there, but it's not like it's doing much. It's very cookie cutter, very by the books. It's exactly what you would expect from what it is and from when it came from. So if you're like, oh man, I love me those Disney Channel shows from the 2000s. Great news, just put this on the list, all right? If you give any more of a shit of quality, then don't check it out.
Okay, then.
It is a waste of time.
Obviously, not a Malpage for Corey in the House anymore. They purged that shit ages ago. So what do you think let's go with the IMDb rating on Corey in the House is for right now?
It could be fucking anything, couldn't it?
It truly could be, couldn't it?
Because here's the thing. Obviously, there's all the hype around it, right? The memes. There's the meme hype around it. And then, I think, largely because of the backlash that there is the backlash against it, that I also think isn't, like, super warranted. It's just that this is more prominent, and I've seen people talk about, like, oh my god, it's so trash, and I'm like, it's unfortunately on par for what it is and from its time. And you, if you want, you could say, like, it's trash along with all of the other Disney Channel shows around that time. But a lot of people are like, it's trash, but my favorite was one of the good ones. And I'm like, I don't know about that.
You were more of a Sweet Life kind of fan, huh?
I mean, I was. That is true. That is true. I was.
Yeah. Oh boy, the antics those twins got into.
Look, I was all in on the Sprouse twins because when I was 13, all right, I had the exact same hairstyle as the Sprouse twins did in Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, where it was just like
generic shag.
Generic shag, but it was like exactly it. I, multiple times, this is a true fact, when I was a young teenager, got mistaken for a Sprouse twin in public.
Now I'm picturing you standing next to one of them right now and how wrong people would be.
Yeah, you know, we've diverged a bit. We've got our separate ways. I'm the unknown third Sprouse triplet that they hide.
I see.
They hid me.
For reasons.
They hid me from the world. But one day,
one day
Cole and Dylan, I'll be back. They don't like to tell you, I was on those Danimals cruises as well. All right, I was there.
Holy shit. God, that perfectly ages us, that reference, and the fact that I got it makes it worse. Oh my god. Okay then, Rem, if you had to guess on IMDb, what do you think the score is? Come on, just gut feeling.
I'm gonna guess IMDb that it's 6.5.
6.5? Well, Rem, there are currently 7.4 thousand ratings on it. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I think we can disregard the 1 and 10 out of 10s.
Yeah.
Because even if we do, I think the rating would be the same, hilariously. Because right now it's sitting at a 5.0 out of 10.
Very funny, very funny.
And like the 10 out of 10 ratings is 27% of those ratings. And the 1 out of 10 is 15%.
So I just pulled it up. It is fascinating that people rated the show 5 out of 10, right?
Yeah.
But then if you look at the ratings by episode, the lowest, I think, is a 6.0.
Yeah.
So people believe that it is just less than... on average, it looks like the average episode would actually rate around a 7. And yet most people are like, yeah, but on the whole...
Clicking on one of those individual episodes, the sample sizes are a little bit smaller. Like, I clicked on a random 7.7 episode and only 33 people have reviewed it. I think people were going for more bulk than individual there.
One episode got a 7.9. What the hell?
One episode got an 8.2.
Wait, what episode was that? I didn't even see that.
Episode 16 of the first season.
Holy shit.
Oh, okay. It's the one where Raven.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see.
Back. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, I see. I understand.
Oh, man.
You know, hey, look, it's nothing if not, like, it makes sense. It makes sense. Fan service does everything.
Woo.
Oh my god. Okay, Rem. God, the wheel's a hell of a way to do an episode, isn't it?
Oh, it is. It is, Sean. And you know, I'm sure that it won't be extremely relevant at all at any point.
Nope. Not at all. But hey, if people like the wheel, we can always do more wheel shenanigans, but maybe I extend fewer olive branches to Remington because that's what happens apparently.
We all knew. As soon as the words came out of my mouth, ladies and gentlemen, we all felt it.
Oh my god. So the final question, I guess, is what's next? Want to watch more Disney Channel shows, Rem?
No. I think I'm good.
Oh, interesting. Weird. Wonder why you say that. So with that in mind, thank you all so much for tuning in. If you enjoy Rem falling on his proverbial sword and screwing himself with the power of the wheel, then please head on over to wherever you get your podcasts and leave us a review. They mean the world to us, and we do read every single one. And if that is not enough for you, twitch.tv/animeoutofcontext, where myself, Dylan, and Remington occasionally play video games very poorly. Haven't done that much this month because, life is complicated.
Ain't that the truth, baby?
But when life normalizes, it's going to be a lot more frequent. And if that is still not enough for you, patreon.com/animeoutofcontext, where you gain access to all kinds of lovely bonus material, including having the opportunity to be thanked live on the podcast. So, Rem, who are we thanking this week?
As always, we would like to send our regards to all of our bland bitch protagonists, as well as our magical girls, who we really appreciate. But moving on, we get to our yandere waifus, who are ruining our...
Careful.
I did have to pivot from my first intuition.
Hey, but I could tell.
Yandere waifus, who feel the need to monetize every skill, passion, or hobby. And on that list we have Yandere Neko, Wolfire56, Where's Our DBZ Review, you ginger fuck? Wes Kane is willing to parlay for an Ergo Proxy episode. Welcome to Anime in Full and Complete Context, the show where, watching Requiem for a Spoon Man at 0.5 speed, wake up to this nightmare that will never end. Variant, totally good. Titan CNH, the Susanator, the Spoon Man's Thousand Island Stare. The sheer audacity of this man, agrees Misaka. The Pope. Aw, Sean. The Flying Spaghetti Monster. The Danish Viking will conquer the world with Oronoor Zora as my navigator. That time I reincarnated as a podcast host and forced a weeb. That smut has no place in fairy tales, 100 girlfriends. Thankfully, Titaro was able to find a job with Dracula United. That's what Dracula United is for, ladies and gentlemen. Turban, Teddy Bear, the bear that created a story, Dylan Ree. Super Zoo, Strife 54849 is informing you that the aliens have come for Samantha's bananas. Hey, that rhymed. Stacy's mom, Sean, don't thrust, don't move, I'll just soak in you. Shawnee boy soaking his one nut in Judy Hop's big booty.
Not again.
Sean's one nut in the bunny butt. Sean wants to give Spoon Man a thankin' yank. Sean's hair apparent. Sean, you can come soak in mommy. Sean, would you rather soak in the chick from the dog anime or the cat one? You cannot choose death. Hashtag one nut Rollins. Well, I mean, Sean's more of a dog himself, so, I mean, it all makes sense. Sean, we get it. We will arrange a bunny marriage. Sean, thank you for being such a good sport. Sean should move to the inner court.
Genuine niceness. That's rare.
Yeah. Sean should move to the inner court and become No Nut Rollins.
Okay, all right. back to our regularly scheduled programming. So quick.
Sean, it's just them showing appreciation for you and your soaking habits and your nut.
I see.
Sean ruined my happy sugar life when he became the #1 soak goat for his bed shakers. Sean, quit soaking with my grandma, please. Sarah from the Shark Plushies, Ryan Moody, Ross Palmer, Robert Beebe, Rhiannon Williams, Remington is right. Rem uses the drums of liberation to free all weeps from that anime. Rem hit rock bottom, is still on top of Sean. Rem doesn't completely hate my favorite shows. Rem asks Sean about the teddy demons and eggplant seals. Red Venom, Raptor King, Professor Fox. Pro tips out of context, I won't Google soaking, but did you know, Sean, that the heretical Bethel Church practices grave soaking? PJ Turtle, Pakwell Musico. Once vast herds of Miskas roamed this land, but now their number has dwindled to a few, says the solemn Misaka. Mikeka 7 Hierto, Macaroni Uchiha, Lucky Star is the king of Moe. Link Joe Girl, Leonard 98, King Rich Rock, Cassidy, Jax, Jam Hands, Jake Dent, Ixa Morai. I'm making Rem say racial slurs until you show him Black Lagoon. I'm not familiar with this. I assume it's also for white people, but I have to check.
See what Urban Dictionary says.
Oh, I can't say that to Sean. I can't call Sean that. It's too relevant to him. Says Misaka. I will never get more Ace of the Diamond, now I cry. I did the jump hump for Rem and Sean soaking. I can't believe I made an account for this. Hey Sean, your other nut is still under my pillow. Tell Dylan the Nut Fairy to give me my money. Had to get glasses because my eyes suck. Glenn Michael Dolan, get ready for my origin story. G-Thing72, Fern the Fern. Farmer Weeb is worried about Rem placing a 25% tariff on anime. God, if I fucking could.
Look, man, the Japanese economy is fucked enough as is, so.
Fantide, Erica McCorkle, Darth Gator, Daniel Riot, Daddy Rem, tell me a bedtime story. Calderius, Cosmic Obsess, Comrade JC, Chloe, short for Cloaca, Cheese Monkey, Cat girls are best girls, so give me them cute little paws. Call back to Sean saying Jelly is his waifu. Rock card for Geodudes. How do you like that, Obama? I pissed on the moon, you idiot. Boring Siren. Blackout drunk before butt stuff, says Miska. Bento Kato. Be honest, Sean, how many body pillows are crusty? All of them. AOC hits like cocaine straight to the vein, turning me into the version of Bane that kills Bruce Wayne. Plus, my dick got bigger AF. And every day that Raven comes to visit, says Miska. Amazing Muffin. AJ Tunnels now making comics on Patreon. Aisha Gaji. A Moe piece of trash. One Nut Rollins soaking brings up the images of a singular teabag being steeped in a Judy Hop steamed teacup. Accurate. And now we move on to the Boy Wizard tier. What are they going to get this week, Sean?
Man, I'm going to spin a wheel and give them an anime.
Perfect. All right. We have, whoops, I forgot to change my username for a month and call Sean a cuck for a month.
There'll be a second in between each one. Teasing Master Takagi-san.
Wherefore art thou, Remio? I crave that in big hole.
They are going to get Ahiru no Sora. Oh, I'm sorry.
Umbrasite.
They are going to get Banana Fish.
Truckoon Operator number 42.
They are going to get K.
That mouse girl.
They are going to get Cells at Work.
Thanks to Super Soaker Sean, my sister and I have never been closer. Hashtag don't fuck your sister.
Shirobako.
Spoonman the Aristocrat.
They are going to get Promise Neverland.
Silent Secondary.
They are going to get, Overlord.
Sean says Soaking's best with Motion of the Ocean.
Remini. They are going to get How to Keep a Mummy. Hilariously, a lot of these we've covered.
Scourge has Miska and an in-real-life girlfriend now.
Congratulations, you get Fairy Tale.
Sammy K is all caught up after remembering she's a patron.
You get Sword Art Online.
Roscoe.
You're going to get Himoto Umaru-chan.
Nurikaza, check out my music.
You're going to get ReZero.
Monogatari is everything you ever said you like in anime. This week it's creative, distinctive, fresh, and different.
You get Black Clover. I'm sorry.
Miska thinks Sean will want to show Rem the Monogatari series, says Miska while Miska runs around.
You get Kiss Him, Not Me.
Miska thinks Rem needs to watch the Monogatari series, says Miska as Miska nods in agreement.
You get A Silent Voice.
Miska's a regulation listener that used to listen to Face Jam, but now listens to 100% Eat, says Miska.
Suredere Children.
Miguel DeLeon.
You're going to get Konosuba.
It's time for the Monogatari series with toothbrushes and vampires, says Miska as Miska nods in agreement.
You're going to get Toradora.
It's January and time for the Monogatari series, says Miska as Miska brushes Miska's teeth.
You're going to get... You're lying April.
Hidden Otaku.
You're going to get Fairy Gone.
Crimson Reapers just because of the scythes.
You're going to get Naruto.
Carver 271.
And you're going to get Beyblade Burst.
Captain Beagleboy asks Sean's bullshit rule.
You're going to get Darling in the Franxx.
Butler Rat got the 3-room, 700-foot squared apartment, moved in April 1st. Well, Kiryu looks to be taking longer, so Sephiroth will have to wait.
You can get Bungo Stray Dogs.
Blood Cell thinking about changing his name to Power Cell, but it's worried about the mitochondria joke, says Miska.
You get Bleach.
Before Tails answers, Kira proposes a deal.
School Days.
Beethoven 1201.
You get Banana Fish.
Back on that Monogatari grind.
You're going to get Hanebado.
Also, you get the big hole.
And they're gonna get Agretzka.
Alpha Papa Palpatine.
Oh, look at that. Hunter Hunter.
Allfather wants to stop finding out when he never effed around.
You're also going to get Overlord. That's the first repeat.
And now we move on to the inappropriate Joey Wheeler tier, where Sean Rollins as Joey Wheeler will give you a movie or show, and I will tell you how you overanalyze or horribly misinterpret that show. We start with...
I don't see how that's relevant to the episode, Rem.
Well, yeah, who knows? Rowdy-O.
You're going to get The Haunting at Hill House.
Oh, hell yeah. You interpret that as... Oh, man. There's so much meat on this bone.
Obviously, I figured you'd like that.
It's hard to overanalyze, frankly. So I'm gonna have to go the other way. You know, when you watch Haunting at Hill House, you interpreted it as a very straightforward ghost story and were surprised. You were like, it's kind of spooky, but there weren't enough jump scares. If they were in it to scare you, there should have been way more jump scares.
I can only imagine that hurt to say.
Next up, we got, hey, Rem, how much for you to gift me Sean? Hey, name your offer, all right? In this economy, I'm willing to negotiate.
I don't know if I like this discussion. They are gonna get 50 Shades of Grey. Go in the opposite direction.
And what you will learn is that true love really does conquer all. And that, you know, as long as he's a billionaire, it's a healthy relationship. That's the rule. That's the law. Last but not least, we got follow anime out of context on Blue Sky. Fun fact, you can't be a professional gaming streamer if you don't post or keep to a schedule, Sean.
It's not my fault landlords suck. I'm sorry.
He's getting called out. And on the Anime Compod Blue Sky, oh god, I don't like this. Can you believe that as of next week, Remington has been watching Anime Weekly for 7 years? That's about 462 hours of anime. Oh god. Oh no. They point out that I've watched more anime on the pod than all episodes of One Piece and all 15 movies combined. Oh my god.
Man, they're good at this.
Oh my god. Now I'm in crisis mode, dude.
Okay, in that case, how mean can I be? You're going to get Requiem for a Dream.
It's actually a story similar to Brave New World. It's just all about the government controlling you, man. All right, none of the other themes. Ignore everything else. It's all about government control through regulated drug use. What you don't see are the men in suits. All right, all around. Only I saw those. Thank you for tuning in. If you want to reach out for a comment, question, feedback, or recommendation, then you can send an email over to animeoutofcontext@gmail.com.
Once again, guys, thank you all so much for tuning in. We love and appreciate you very, very much. And as always, don't fuck your sister.
Do 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 do.